Is God good?
No. Next question. Let's do this. Greetings, fellow space travelers. BionicDance here. Is God good? Even if we grant the notion that God exists in the first place, this is still a very silly question, given what we know about God.
If he is, why is there suffering and evil?
Gosh, I don't know. Why did God allow Shatner to exist? What? He's evil and causes suffering.
Let's assume for the moment that God is all-powerful. This means that God can do anything that is logically possible.
That doesn't sound all-powerful to me. That sounds logically powerful. I mean, what? Are you going to tell me now that, despite multitudes of descriptions to the contrary, God is not the Almighty? Does omnipotence come with limits now? I guess we should call God sompotent, a lot but not actually all-powerful. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Either God is all-powerful and can break the laws of logic, or your God has limits and isn't nearly as powerful as people claim. Which is it?
So he can create galaxies, and subatomic particles, and rainforests, and you. But God cannot do what is logically impossible.
So you're telling me that it is logically possible to, say, walk on water without using some sort of flotation gear, force fields, or freezing it until it's ice, to raise the dead without a scrap of medical equipment, to impregnate a woman without having sex with her or engaging in artificial insemination, to set a bush on fire without the flames ever actually consuming the foliage, or to flood the planet in 40 days, saving only 2 of each animal on a boat with enough food, water, and space for making dookie, while making sure that the predators don't eat the herbivores, waiting for evaporation to dry everything out, hoping there will be enough surviving plant life for food, and then trying to repopulate the whole Earth with only 2 of each species and no genetic defects from inbreeding? If you want to claim that God can only do the logical, and you're going to claim that he did all of those things listed in the Bible, you're going to have to explain how those things are logical. And no saying they're metaphors, that's the weenie's way out.
He cannot make a square circle, or a one-ended stick.
You know, a one-sided stick is called a branch. And it wouldn't surprise me if, by tinkering with tesseracts, wrangling refraction, or contorting with quantum physics, you could make a square circle.
So can God make a rock so big that he can't lift it? No.
Now we're back to that all-powerful thing again. Are you prepared to admit that your God isn't quite as mighty as you claim?
So what if, when God created human beings, he wanted them to be free?
Well, he might have started out by not being quite so strict on that whole faith thing. Sending people to hell for not believing in him when he's going for all-time hide-and-seek world champion isn't exactly what I'd call freedom. Are you truly free if they say you can make your own choices just so long as you do what you're told?
Freedom's a good thing. But if humans are to be free, they cannot be forced to obey God. Because freedom without choice is like a square circle. It's a logical contradiction. No choice, no freedom.
And yet if your only choices are to obey or face punishment, then all you have is an illusion of freedom. True freedom means having the option to go off script, to do the unexpected, and, provided you hurt nobody against their will, being allowed to do so without reprisal.
God didn't want robots. He wanted real people. The first humans endowed with the awesome power of free choice abused their freedom.
Abused their freedom? They were conned into eating an apple. What, did Noah's flood happen because someone peeled and ate an orange? I hope nobody eats a watermelon. The entire universe will be blipped out of existence by a quantum singularity.
The tragic consequences of their bad choice and our bad choices ripple across the world.
But our good choices stop and end right here, huh? 'Cause we're all, like, sinners, right?
God is responsible for the fact of freedom, but humans are responsible for their acts of freedom.
I can't help thinking that this video is only addressing half of the issue, because the original question was, why is there suffering and evil, not why are people assholes? And there are a lot of ways to suffer that don't involve anybody else abusing their freedoms. Disease, natural disasters, accidents, the continued mortal existence of William Shatner. What has God done about those? Why can't he afford us a little bit of protection? My parents did a better job of keeping me from suffering than this God creature of yours. It wouldn't deny us us our freedom, keeping us safe from suffering about which we could otherwise do nothing. How good is a God, or anybody else for that matter, who would turn their back on somebody else's pain when they had the power to stop it?
But let's remember, we don't suffer alone. God will put an end to suffering and evil.
Yeah? Well, it'd be nice if he'd hurry the hell up. What's he waiting for? Does he have some previous engagement he thinks is more important? Is he hiding from the federales? Is he over at Ken Ham's place for dinner? Even at the most conservative estimate, he's had thousands of years to set things right. Either he's the most delinquent father ever, or he doesn't exist. Which is it?
And God became a man to suffer with us.
Oh, thank you very much. Someone else's masochism sure is the solution for everyone else's pain and misery. I bet we all feel better now that God has had a taste of his own medicine. Aw, crap. Did your sarcasm meter just blow a fuse?
God is good.
If that's your definition of good, I sure as hell don't want to see bad. I'm just glad God doesn't exist, because the way you describe him, he sounds like a real shitburger. Until next time, fellow space travelers, this is BionicDance saying don't run on automatic. Instead, please, think. Droids don't pull people's arms out of their sockets when their videos aren't rated. Bionic dances are known to do that.